Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Am I the A-hole? Story 1. AITA for insisting that my brother pays for half of my cat's treatment bill. My brother recently got dumped and asked if he could come hang out with my cat. I thought it would be the perfect way to cheer up, so I said yes and told him he can stay at my place for an hour while I go to a bookstore. I also told him not to feed her anything since I have already fed her in the morning and will feed her again in the evening. He asked if he could try giving her some chocolate and I told him no, that's very dangerous. But then I came back later to find my cat vomiting and panting, and my brother just standing there freaking out. He admitted to giving her a piece of chocolate and I quickly took her to my vet. Fortunately, she is fine now, but I told my brother he has to reimburse me for half of the treatment cost since he ignored what I told him and is the reason she got sick. He paid but then went complaining to our parents, who told me off. Our mom said he's my brother and everyone makes mistakes. Was I wrong in telling him to pay? Update: thank you everyone for your Story 2. AITA for not getting food for my mom and siblings. I, 26F, am home for Thanksgiving from college for a week. Today I went downstairs and told my mom I was leaving to go get food. She usually asks where I'm going anytime I leave the house, so I will announce my exit if I'm going somewhere, which, while unrelated, is part of the reason I went off to college and moved away from home. My sister, 28F, who is autistic and can't drive, asked if I could get her something as well. I said I don't know where I'm going yet, which was true. I was just going to drive around and find something to eat. My mom chimed in and said she's just gonna get food for herself, and if she gets food for you she'll have to get it for everyone. I took the dog out and was getting ready to leave again when my sister then asked if she could give me money so I could get her food, and I just echoed what my mom said to her. If I get food for you I'll have to get food for everyone. I have 5 siblings and if I decided to get food for one family member, I would then feel obligated to get food for everyone, and because I'm a college student I don't have a lot of money to pay for everyone else's food if they decide not to contribute, so I left. My mom came outside to get the mail as I was leaving and told me how rude that was and that I shouldn't have announced that I was going to get food. I told my mom that she was going to ask me where I was going anyway because she always does, and she was like, well, you need to think about other people. I ended up just driving around the block and came back after pretty much being made to feel like a jerk for leaving to get food. When they asked why I was back so soon without any food, I pretty much said they made me feel guilty for wanting to go get food, so I'm just gonna find something to eat here, to which my sister said no, it's okay, you can go get food. I told her it's not worth it anymore if everyone's gonna make me feel bad for wanting to go get food. So, AITA for deciding to only get food for myself? Edit: for more context, if I did get food, this would have been the 4th meal I've bought for everyone since I've been home. I got home yesterday. Story 3. AITA for not apologizing to my girlfriend's parents. I, 17M, am moving in with my girlfriend, 17F, and her parents. I do not get along well with them very well but have trying to make it work. They had just bought a new kitchen appliance set. Yesterday I was alone in the house and decided to make dinner for the family. After preheating the oven it began to smoke. I called my girlfriend's mom not knowing what to do, but was brought to voicemail. To my surprise I unknowingly melting a plastic dish cover causing the oven to smoke, as well as leaving an odd plastic coating throughout the oven. Keeping in mind I have never lived in a household that stores things in the oven, my girlfriend's mom calls me back after I had already removed everything inside the oven. I tell her what happened and she starts yelling at me through the phone that I am stupid for not opening it to check before turning it on, and to stop cooking because she doesn't want her kitchen destroyed. Later that night when everyone arrived home, I did not say much due to the confrontation that we had on the phone. I do not do well with conflict and tend to get very anxious. My girlfriend told me that I should have apologized to them for almost ruining their brand new oven, and melting the plastic. Me being upset and stubborn, I do not feel the need to apologize for the accident, seeing as this is not the first time her mom has blown up on me for a simple mistake. Am I the asshole? Update, thank you all for your input and advice. I spoke to my girlfriend's mom and apologized. We are okay now. I know I have a lot of learning and growth to go through, and appreciate the feedback. Story 4. AITA for not picking my sister up for our holiday travel. My sister, 34F, and I, 32F, and my husband, 34M, are driving 1,000 miles east to our families for the holidays. We will be using my car. Driving rather than flying is my sister's preference, which I have agreed to for toting gifts to / from. I absolutely dread the drive and would 1000% rather fly. My sister lives about 30 miles southwest of me. Since we are headed east, I asked what time she'd like to be at my house to head out. To my surprise, she was extremely off-put by the assumption that she would be driving to my house before the long drive, as she thought we mutually agreed that this year, I would pick her up on the way out and drop her off on the way back into town. I feel this approach is illogical as she has to head in the direction of my house, east, anyway, so what she perceives as extra time added to her drive would be occurring in either case. However, if I head west to pick her up, I'm adding an additional 45 minutes each time that I otherwise would not have to make, and I will literally have to pass the exit to my town to drop her off after already traveling 1,000 miles. She feels this is unfair, and that she is assuming more of the burden by driving to my house due to the extra time and packing / unpacking of the car. I offered to go to her home after work the night before we leave. I work closer to her than I live, and help her pack up the car, have offered that my husband and I do the majority of the long drive, and have even offered to pick her up before we head out if she can arrange to head home from my house when we get back. I have 2 dogs that I need to get back to. She says I'm unable to come to a reasonable compromise. I think driving rather than flying in it of itself is a compromise, in addition to other options I presented. AITA? Story 5. AITA for not inviting my sister on a vacation to Disney because I invited my mom. My F30 and my family are going to Disney for our child, M8's spring break. It is our daughter, 1F, first time. Traveling with my parents will make us a party of 7. We invited my parents to go with us and split the cost of room. If we all go together we can get 1 room. A big note here is that we invited my parents on our vacation. My mom wants to invite my sister, F35, and her 3 kids plus husband to not hurt feelings. Important to note, my sister went to Disney with her family in January, inviting my parents, and never invited us. We were not in any way offended by this. My sister's kids, while we love them with all of our hearts, are young and not disciplined. We just want this week to selfishly be about my kids. If my sister goes, she will want my mom and dad to leave the parks and babysit for her. Her kids also go to bed at 6:30. My mom thinks I'm the off for not inviting her and is begging me to. So AITA? Story 6. AITA for saying being a cardiologist is different from being a veterinarian. I think this is quite obvious, but it turned into an unnecessarily prolonged argument, so here we are. I, 33F, had a few days off work and went back home for a short visit to my parents' house with our twins, Ava and Daniel, both 5Y/0. My wife, Audrey, 35F, didn't accompany us because first, she's quite busy with work. She's an interventional cardiologist. Also, Audrey doesn't get along with my side of the family. There are a few reasons for this, but the most important one is the fact that she was my first ever girlfriend. So my parents used to think she turned me gay and I was tricked and fell into her trap because she is beautiful. This was 10 years ago, but the dynamic is still there. For the context, we always spend the actual holiday season together and Audrey usually has a few days off around then. We even have several funny traditions we've established with our kids, and long story short, we stay home around the holidays. My brother, George, 35M, is a veterinarian. He lives in the same city as our parents and he came with his wife and kids to see us once he heard we were there. George has always compared himself to Audrey because he insists their jobs are similar. For example, whenever he sees Audrey he keeps complaining about how hard and demanding his job is and how he barely has any time for himself and there is a lot responsibility, etc. and how he thinks Audrey understands. Which I no doubt think is accurate. Today, he asked me why Audrey wasn't with us. I explained that she was busy. He said he could understand that but even he could get time off and Audrey sure could get a few days off and come see family too. I may be here because I said something along the lines of, do you honestly think you and Audrey have the same profession? She barely manages to get any time off. And here you are in a few hours' notice on a work day because we are here. She certainly can't do that. After this he told me I was being mean to him and undermining him and glorifying my wife, which is all I ever do. I may be double the awe because I said that I was just saying as a cardiologist her life and profession is different from his. He sulked away the rest of the day. My parents think I was in awe and took his side during this argument. Was I out of line? Story 7. AITA for not offering to pay some of my mom's bills. My younger 38-year-old sister, who lives with my 77-year-old mom, 58 and 30-year-old brothers, has a baby who my mom takes care of while she works. My 58-year-old brother also helps my mom babysit because she gets tired. I am successful, child-free, and my husband and I enjoy traveling, going out, saving for retirement, and are really just reaping the rewards of our labor. I give my elderly mom money occasionally and money into fixing her roof, other repairs, etc. My mom lives in an extremely exclusive neighborhood with 2 5-bedroom homes on lakeside property but lives off her my deceased dad's pension, a small life insurance, and whatever we give her. My sister has been paying some of my mom's bills but recently my sister has been texting and berating me for not paying any of my mom's bills and basically not contributing to helping my mom in her eyes. My mom and I had a strained relationship for a long time but since my dad died, I visit as often as am able due to work and like I said, leave her money, gifts, etc. I have given my mom ideas on renting or selling one of the homes, renting or selling another property my dad left us and other suggestions but my mom stubbornly wants to keep the properties with us giving her what we want. Since I don't live with her and don't have any interest in the inheritance, I don't feel the need to pay any bills because it seems like I would be footing the bill more for my siblings than my mom. AITA for not offering to give my mom any steady money or pay her bills. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.